Long ago, before your four-legged best friend learned to fetch sticks, he was a wild animal. These guys weren't messing around. They had survival to think of, and were more likely to take a chunk out of you than give you a slobbery kiss. So how did this relationship change? How did dogs go from being our bitter rivals to our snuggly, fluffy pooch pals? When did dogs become pets?
Bronze Age?
1967!
Ooh.
In the Roman times. 10 years ago. 1600s. When the person first got in the wild.
It's got to be early. It has to be like Stone Agey.
Iron Age?
Maybe Bronze Age, but Roman definitely.
Definitely Roman.
In the Neolithic, maybe?
No idea.
After the Stone Age.
Bronze Age. No, earlier than
I
that.
don't know any other ages. Saxon something or other?
1000 AD? I'd go earlier.
All right, what are you saying?
I would say BC, definitely.
You say BC? Right.
BC.
All right, I'm AD, she's BC.
AD BC.
They may not look like it, but these guys are the same animal, give or take 10,000 years of evolution. In fact, grey wolves and dogs share 99% of the same DNA. It's hard to believe that this ferocious predator and this handbag princess are almost genetically identical. That's because they share the same ancestor. Both grey wolves and dogs came from extinct ancient wolf species. But scientists can't seem to agree when this might have happened. One of the oldest dog burials is from the Neolithic period, over 14,000 years ago. The pooch, let's call him Nigel, was buried with two humans, and he showed signs that had been cared for, suggesting Nigel was an important part of the family. So, if dogs were already firmly installed as man's best friend by the later Stone Age, how far back did these relationships go? Well, another piece of the puzzle was unearthed in a remote region of Siberia. And it's over double the age of Nigel. A 35,000-year-old wolf bone was dug up. It was just a fragment, but that was more than enough for today's scientists. They picked apart the DNA and found that is in fact an ancestor of modern-day domesticated dogs. According to the research team, this puts dog domestication much earlier on the map, as it looks like dogs started to split from ancient wolves up to 40,000 years ago. But what about the most intriguing question of all? How? What was it that mellowed out man's worst enemy and turned them into man's best friend? One theory suggests that somehow early humans captured cute little wolf pups, kept them as pets, and somehow domesticated them. Another is survival of the friendliest, where a certain population of wolves figured out that rather than hunting humans, it might be beneficial to buddy up to them. An endless food supply, shelter, and cuddles? They'd be mad not to. And boy, did that decision win big. With up to 1 billion dogs on Earth today versus no more than 250,000 wolves, the puppy eye revolution certainly paid off. A different group of scientists have looked to climate change for the answer. The last ice age was a chilly time, not ideal for growing your greens, but full of Roman roast dinners. Food scientists have calculated that there was heaps of lean meat around. In fact, too much. We humans can't survive off meat alone. It's pretty much 100% protein, and there's a limit to how much our fragile little bods can take before it's game over. Wolves, however, can eat it until the cows come home. Scientists are pretty sure that wolves domesticated themselves into dogs during the last ice age, and surplus meat might have kick-started it. The theory goes that humans couldn't eat all those juicy steaks, so wolves scavenged our waste dumps, liked what they found, and they stayed around for more. Over time, the friendliest wolves might have been taken in by humans. After all, there's a lot to be gained from a toothy companion. Protection for one. It's an interesting theory, and it's one that can be backed up by some fascinating foxy behavior. More than 60 years ago, a group of researchers set about to understand the genetics of domestication. They took a group of wild foxes, selected the most tame and gentle among them. These were bred, and 10 generations later, bingo! They had themselves some domesticated foxes. And the reason? Genetics. It turns out these friendly, tamed foxes used their brains differently to wild foxes. Scientists spotted tiny molecular alterations which could be the switch between tameness and aggression. This could have happened naturally to our scavenging wolves. Only the tamest would have approached human camps. And since these wolves might have survived longer, Natural selection would have favored their gentle genetics, and over time, our warm, fuzzy friends were born. And with that, this tale has come to an end. Between the power of the trowel and ingenuity of the microscope, scientists and archaeologists have brought us one step closer to answering one of the most mysterious questions in prehistory. So next time you're petting Philo, just remember, somebody 40,000 years ago was probably doing the same thing.